Hey, welcome to another episode of Left, Right, Out. We are on the cusp of, well, every year or every 4 years, every 2 years, they say this is the most important election in our lifetime. I don't know if it is or not, but either way, it's going to change our life, and it seems like we get more extreme instances or testing of our society as a whole. And this is going to be one of those where we're going to do that as well, one way or the other. I mean, we're anticipating legal action in whoever wins. Will that happen? I don't know. There's a lot of we act like voter fraud is just like something it just just doesn't happen. It's never happened in our past, and it's likely not to happen. Or if it does, then it's something that's erroneous. It's never happened before. But the hopefully you who's listening to this or watching this or however you're digesting this is more keen and aware of our history than Facebook is and the rest of the ilk that's telling us that our elections are so secure. Which you can look back in history and instance the mafia, the La Cosa Nostra. They elected a number of presidents, especially most notably JFK. Their help in Illinois and in Florida, and I believe in Texas as well, where there's massive voter fraud. If you watch the movie The Gangs in New York and you see how the immigrants were pretty much ramrodded, or in that case it was Irish immigrants in New York, ramrodded to vote for certain people. I mean, ballot stuffing, not counting ballots, finding ballots in big boxes places, in random warehouses, burning ballots. I mean, it happens all the time. I wish it didn't, and it shouldn't. We should strive not to have that. But to pretend like that stuff doesn't happen, and that there isn't some nefarious characters out there that are doing things, whether it be some people are double voting even at the individual level. That's, I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you get all these ballots coming to one address. We found that out last election when there's a number of mail-in ballots that were going to like single addresses. And you're like, man, is there really 30 people living at this address? I don't know, but there was a number of really good analysis on some data that was collected in 2016 where they found all the voter fraud and miscount ballots, all kinds of stuff. It happens all the time, and to pretend like it doesn't is just scary, actually. But we can. I advise you to go look into that a little bit, so you're not just taken back by the reality of this situation when Facebook and these other institutions and your mainstream media are presenting it as though this is some like flawless system, and the only reason that there'd be any discrepancies in it is because of the current administration or something like that. Not that I'm pushing one way or the other. I mean, to be totally honest, with what the Democrats put forward, you have to go with Trump. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. But the gangsters that we're going to be putting in, I'd rather have a pro America gangster, if you want to call Trump. I look at him, maybe he's a thug or gangster, but he's our thug and gangster. Biden and these guys, they're willing to accept money from anybody. And I think if you turn a blind eye to the Burisma thing and other things throughout his 40 plus years of senatorial and vice president service, then you're just you're an ostrich with the head in the sand, and just ignore that. And some of the other creepy stuff is incredible. Now, if they'd have put somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, that would have been a different story. But you can't expect guys like myself to look at that party seriously when you put somebody up like this. It's just so blatant. But like I said, Trump's our gangster. At least he might be a gangster, but he's our gangster, and that's cool with me. I'll take that over somebody that goes to the highest bidder, and questionably into younger people, pedophilia, but and known to hang out with people that are like that, sniffs kids. I mean, there's some videos that it's disgusting, right? Let's talk about the markets. The market's been all over the place, and like I said, the excess money printing. I think the Fed is just kind of waiting for the fiscal stimulus so that they can inject more by buying up the bonds in order to actually implement the fiscal stimulus. But it's clearly manipulated. There's a lot of just craziness out there, and I've been doing a lot of day trading just to try it out. or I wouldn't even call it day trading. It's just trading in certain swing trades and certain trades, just trying to look at it. And I've been burned a couple times and I've made some money. It's about, that is a severely disciplined deal. And I was going to do a challenge on it, but I think I'm just not, because there's so much stuff going on that I'd rather talk about. Like today, I think I did a little trading and I actually made some money. Not very much, but enough to, hey, go get some groceries, fill up the tank of gas, whatever case may be. But I'd rather talk about the overall markets, because that's what, most people are, okay, well, what do I do? How do I protect my nest? How do I grow my nest egg? Or I want a better understanding of what's going on in the world, so we can talk about that. And like I said, I like to look at it from a larger macro perspective. So guys that I follow, like Peter Schiff and Murray Rothbard, or I read his books, that's a guy good to follow or study, those two men. And then Peter has his own podcast, which is pretty awesome. If you look at Tom Woods, that's another guy to study. Now, are they going to help you with the market swings immediately? No. So if you're looking for short-term gains, then no, because you can play the bubbles. If you want to listen to the people on CNBC and these bubble pumpers, because they're going to probably make you more money in the short run. They're wrong. They're completely wrong. But in the short run, the market reacts like that. In the long run, that's where guys like myself and these other people are, to a devastatingly disappointing point of view, we're right, because it sucks seeing the train getting ready to derail off the tracks, and then and watching everybody oblivious to it. But and we are currently kind of just barely holding on to a track. It's incredible, because it's been a slow road to that. It's like the frog in the boiling pot. As you see these things sort of play out, a lot of people are almost mind numb to it, and it goes along with the COVID things. Somebody was saying, "Oh, I hope the life goes back to normal." I don't think life's going back to normal. I think people have accepted the new normal. Will it revert back to some sort of mean? Yeah, probably. But there's always going to be these new contingencies. Same thing happened after September 11th. After any large event, and this is a significantly large event, this has impacted, I think this is greater than, not to negate people's lives, and especially, I was in the armed forces, all the people that lost their life on September 11th and afterwards as consequence of that. But this right here is affecting like everybody. Back then, we had that. People were told to shop or whatnot, do this. This is literally, there's not a person in this country that's not affected by the lockdown or this like boogeyman virus, which I think I actually had. And yeah, it sucks for a few days, and then you're kind of just like a nagging cough and blah, blah, and then you get over it if you're healthy. Now, yeah, just like any other thing, if you have other underlying ailments, yeah, you got to look out. But that's with like a majority of ailments that are diseases that you could get. But I think we're in a new paradigm, and it's scary, because usually when these shifts happen, there's other ramifications. Mainly personal freedom is going to be the one. That's another thing. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow, not just on the presidential side. I'm glad we got this we got that Supreme Court justice in there, Amy Barrett, or what I'm not even paying, I just know a little bit about her, but I know she's better than what we had in there, RBJ. But and God rest her soul. I don't wish ill upon anybody, but that happened. So you'll have at least a moderately conservative person in there to replace a severe, unbelievably liberal justice. Now, when it comes to the House and the Senate, those are the interesting races, because if there's a blue sweep, then we have some issues. I don't know what to tell you, but even with the red, it's like the lesser of two evils. It's like, well, do you want to go off the cliff full bore, or I guess it would be down the cliff, because we're kind of gone off that rail. Now we're just kind of going down. Do you want to go off Bonnie and Clyde style, or do you want to at least attempt to tap the brakes before we launch off this thing? That's pretty much what we're doing at the moment, because there's no way there's no stopping this. It's a kind of like a managed decline of some sorts. But anyway, I'm interested in, I'm going to be watching this. I hope you are. Like I always say, find some way to be productive, better yourself, provide services. That's the only way you can really defend against the printing of currency and the devaluing of everybody else's production is to produce more, and unfortunately that's the way it is. But it also helps you become independent, helps you better yourself, helps you better people around you by providing goods and services and not relying just on some financial scheme, and like some of us do. Anyway, I'm going to peace out here, and like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.